Just what is the president's refusal to accept the truth doing to an already deeply divided America? The great Peggy Noonan joins me now. She was a speechwriter for Ronald Reagan, a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Wall Street Journal. Peggy, let me ask you, I mean, I get that the system will work and there will be a transition. But what I want to talk to you about is what does it do to our culture, particularly to the political culture on the right, to sow the seeds of these conspiracy theories? I mean, as Richard Hofstadter said, we have a paranoid streak running through this country. We have had McCarthyism. Do you worry that this will become the new, kind of conspiracy theory on the right that lingers?
I do. I think the president's throwing around words like steal. The election was stolen. It was all rigged. It's a fiction of the fake news media that I lost and Joe Biden won. There will always be an audience for an angry, accusing, paranoid vision in America. There will always be some audience for that. Among some of the Trump base, I'm a little bit worried about the rise of this sort of stabbed in the back theory that the president was not well represented by official Washington, that they were his enemies, that they tried to do him in, that they rigged the election and unfairly arranged this whole thing. So I am worried about it, but I also feel for a certain sort of indignant anger. I think the president must know that he lost. The White House must understand there are no legal avenues that are fruitful at this point. The recount avenues are very likely not fruitful. If you know that, and yet you ask your most passionate and sincere and ingenuous and trusting believers to believe something that isn't true, which is that you won, it is a kind of abuse of them. It is cynical, and it is wrong, and it makes me feel indignant that he is taking advantage of good people in this way.
I often thought that one of the great regularities of American politics was that the more optimistic candidate tended to win. And that was best seen in your president, Reagan. What does it tell you that Trump, who is very pessimistic and dark about America and, sees it as a bad and rigged system, and what does it say that there's such a market for this kind of dour, grim, pessimistic view of America?
Well, I think there's a lot of anger in America, understandably. Certainly it is a polarized country. I was taking notes this morning and writing polarized, 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 and then it occurred to me that's the only thing we agree on, that we are in fact not united. There is a lot of anger out there, and that's always fertile field for a political figure. But yes, it is true, an American president whose inaugural address included the phrase American carnage. Do you know what I mean? That was so very grim. There was some insights that Donald Trump did run on when he ran in 2016. He saw the frustration of a lot of Americans, Democrats and very much Republicans, who were frustrated by American establishments, American elites, two parties which seemed themselves rather cynical and not handling and resolving certain national problems. So I think we are at a point where a certain amount of anger can get you pretty far.
And do you think that there is a healing that words can do? I mean, you believe preeminently in the idea that words have consequences. Do you think that Biden's effort to at least rhetorically put a balm on some of these wounds will help, or does it need to be something more?
I think Joe Biden when he becomes president, will have a heck of a lot to deal with within his party, without his party, in the country. In general, Fareed, somebody asked me the other day, can he heal the country? And I said, no one can heal the country, but he can calm the country. It would be wonderful to see him to come in and lower the temperature somewhat. It would be wonderful to see him come in and set himself to making government work again, working with the other party, working legislatively, maybe concentrating to start on one big thing, coronavirus relief, which is necessary and everybody wants it. So I think there's some promise there, and it would be very good and very calming and ameliorating to some degree if we could see a government fully staffed, fully functioning, fully working in happily predictable ways. And it would be very good if the world saw that too. I can't help but think of this 2-month period ahead as a rather dangerous time.
On that note, always a pleasure, Peggy Noonan.
Thank you, Fareed.